When the German army first invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, they expected a quick victory. But they ran into something unexpected: the T-34 and K-41 tanks. These weren't ordinary tanks. Their sloped armor, wide tracks, and powerful guns shocked the Wehrmacht. Suddenly, German tanks like the Panzer IV were no longer enough. Something heavier, tougher, and deadlier was needed. Enter the Tiger I, officially the Panzerkampfwagen 6, Tiger Ausf E. Designed to dominate enemy armor at long range, it combined thick frontal armor, an 8.8-centimeter main gun, and precise optics for the crew. The tank was built by Henschel, Hull, and Krupp Turret under engineer Erwin Aders, and development ran from 1938 to 1941. Production officially started in 1942, just as the Wehrmacht realized they needed an edge against the Soviets. Hitler, as usual, wanted it in action fast. Tigers were rushed into battle with the first heavy tank battalions, debuting near Leningrad in late 1942. The first experience was rough. Some tanks broke down, others got stuck in swamps. But even in these early tests, the Tiger's firepower and armor impressed everyone. The Tiger was huge, about 57 tons, with a crew of 5: commander, gunner, loader, driver, and radio operator. Its armor was massive, 100 millimeters on the front hull and turret, up to 120 millimeters on the turret mantlet, with thinner armor on the sides and top. The flat plates were angled slightly to increase protection. The star of the show was the 8.8-centimeter KWK-36 L/56 main gun. Not only was it powerful enough to punch through most Soviet tanks at long range, it was also incredibly accurate, thanks to high-quality optics. The Tiger also carried 2 MG-34 machine guns for close defense. Under the hood, the Tiger ran on a Maybach HL230V12 engine with about 690 to 700 horsepower, linked to an 8 forward for reverse transmission and torsion bar suspension. Its top speed on roads was around 40 kilometers per hour, but off-road it was slower, and heavy bridges and muddy terrain could easily cause problems. Wide tracks helped it traverse soft ground, and it could even ford water up to 4 meters deep. Impressive for such a massive vehicle. The first Tigers in Leningrad showed both its strengths and weaknesses. When the crew handled it well, the Tiger could destroy Soviet tanks from distances where the T-34s and KVs couldn't fight back effectively. But the early Tigers also suffered breakdowns and got stuck in soft terrain, showing that these beasts weren't for just any battlefield. Later, in North Africa, like Tiger 131 in Tunisia, the tank proved its mettle. Allied engineers studied the Tiger closely and confirmed its armor and gun were top-notch. They also realized it was a maintenance headache. By mid-1943, during the Battle of Kursk, the Tiger became an important part of Germany's heavy tank battalions. In long-range fights, its 88mm gun and armor were terrifying. Tigers were most effective in ambushes, hull-down positions, or defensive counterattacks. But they were still few in number, and the Soviets had layered defenses, mines, artillery, and infantry. So even the Tiger couldn't change the course of the battle on its own. Against early T-34s and Cave-1s, the Tiger was unbeatable at range. Its 100mm frontal armor stopped most Soviet rounds, and the 88mm gun could knock out their tanks from a safe distance. As the war went on, Soviet tanks evolved. The T-34-85 and IS-2 could penetrate the Tiger's armor under certain conditions, while the Tiger could still take them out first, if positioned well. The British Sherman Firefly, with its 17-pounder gun, could also threaten the Tiger at long distances, proving that even this armored giant wasn't invincible. Compared to its German cousin, the Panther, the Tiger had a stronger turret and easier gun handling, but the Panther had better sloped frontal armor and superior long-range penetration. In the end, which tank was better depended on terrain and the mission. The Tiger wasn't perfect. Early models suffered engine and drivetrain issues, especially when pushed too hard. Its size and weight made bridges and soft terrain problematic, and it was a logistical nightmare. Fuel-hungry and complicated to maintain, it required spare parts, recovery vehicles, and meticulous attention from the crew. Strategically, a few Tigers could dominate locally, but there weren't enough to counter the massive numbers of the Red Army. Over time, enemy weapons caught up. Soviet 85mm, 100mm, and 122mm guns, as well as the British 17-pounder, could penetrate the Tiger's armor at combat ranges, so crew skill, positioning, and tactics were critical to survival. The Tiger left a lasting impression on tank design and armored warfare. Its first-round accuracy, optics, and crew ergonomics influenced post-war Western tank development. The German model of heavy tank battalions inspired future armored doctrines, emphasizing shock action and counterattack capabilities. Engineers also learned from the Tiger's mistakes. Post-war tanks focused on enough armor, simplified drivetrains, mass producibility, and mobility, balancing firepower with practicality. Today, operational Tigers like Tiger 131 at Bovington allow historians and engineers to study its design and continue its legacy. The Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger aus den ESDKFZ 181 was a formidable German heavy tank operated by a crew of 5. Weighing approximately 57 tons, it featured thick armor protection with 100mm on the front of both the hull and turret, a mantelet of around 120mm, 60mm on the hull sides, 80mm on the turret sides and rear, and 25mm on the roof and floor, with the turret roof increased to 40mm from 1944. Its primary weapon was the 8.8cm KWK 36L/56, capable of carrying roughly 92 rounds, while secondary defense was provided by 2 MG-34 machine guns. The Tiger was powered by a Maybach HL 230V12 petrol engine producing about 690 horsepower, paired with a torsion bar suspension system. It could reach a top speed of 40 to 45 kilometers per hour on roads and had an ideal operational range of around 195 kilometers. The tank first saw combat in August-September 1942 during the Leningrad campaign. The Tiger I was the ultimate predator on the battlefield. When used correctly, it could wipe out almost any opponent. But it was expensive, complex, and vulnerable to evolving enemy weapons. Its sheer presence struck fear in soldiers' hearts, earning it the nickname the Iron Predator of the Eastern Front.